All right. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, man. You see who is on the podcast. I finally got him on, man. He's blessing the podcast. It's Echo, aka Echo is the name. Yo, what's good, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you, brother, for having me on. I appreciate you so much. You've already reviewed so much of my music, and you're always supporting me online on Twitter and on Instagram. So I'm honored, and I'm very happy that I'm up on your platform. Thank you.
I'm all about wordplay and people that take the craft serious, man. And ever since I discovered you through other rappers or or on Twitter or whatever, right? I was been a fan first, and then I was like, yo, I gotta listen to his music. I gotta promote his music. This is certain things. It's certain things that people gotta hear, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do, man. You gotta do it, man. So let me just introduce the podcast real quick, and then we're gonna get in. We're gonna deep dive into a couple more things, and then we're gonna get right into the album, man. Y'all know the drill, man. It's THHC podcast. This is episode 142, man. Echo Rap Philosophy, Rap Philosophy. I was messing around with it because it was funny. I was like, even like the philosophers' names and stuff. A lot of people say them differently, and they say philosophy different. So I wanted
Right.
that's why I did that funny video, like And this is book one. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a book two, so I'm excited. So Echo, won't you introduce yourself, man? Give us some background. Tell the people about yourself, man.
Absolutely, man. What up, everybody? My name is Echo. Over the years, as I was introduced at shows on stage, people would say often, the promoters would say, Echo is the name or Echo is his name. And somehow or another that stuck. So that became my also known as. So I'm Echo. Echo is the name. All my social media handles go by Echo is the name. But Echo is a name that I took on because of its meaning a long time ago when I discovered that it actually meant repetition of sound. And it made sense as far as what I wanted to have my music do, as far as it landing on people's ears and being repeated and cycled through everybody, repeating the sound. So that's me. I'm from New York. I'm Dominican, from Washington Heights, New York. Dykeman. A lot of people know now, probably more now than before, about Dykeman in my hood. But I moved to Los Angeles about 10, 15 years ago. So I've been here. So I've been in both coasts, both sides for a very long time. So I've gotten my feet wet in both for sure, but born and raised in New York.
Wow, that's I got a question off the bat. So I guess what's the difference? You know what I mean? I guess can I ask that question because you were different variations of ages. So like, did you get a good grip on New York before you kind of like?
Yeah, I would say the biggest major difference that impacted me the most, or that I saw immediately and still sticks with me, is the actual vastness, the square footage, the square miles difference. Coming from a place like New York City where it's so tiny and compact, but there's like, I don't know, 8 million people or something. There's like hella people.
It's ridiculous.
And then you come to LA and it's like almost equivalent as far as the people population wise, but it's spread out over so much landmass. It was hard initially to wrap my head around that. More than anything, the personalities are different. The people are different. There's still a lot of good diversity in both places. So that was not a culture shock per se. I didn't have to get used to not seeing certain races or people. But I would say more than anything, the square mileage, the vastness of it was something that I had to get used to. Driving, traveling, exploring, my ability and access to certain places when I wanted to be in certain places at a certain time. That was gone. So that would be more than anything else.
That brings the question to New York's more confined, right? So I'm guessing this is why, and this is a known thing. New York's more aggressive, or the people may be more aggressive. They at least people say that. I don't want to say everybody from New York's aggressive,
right?
But if you got to think about it in experiments, if you got somebody in a project building 100 people, they're gonna be more aggressive than somebody that's spread out over land if everybody got their own house and farmland.
Yeah, so you got somebody above you, to the right, to the left, and below you at all times of your life when you're in New York City. So that in and of itself is a psychological hurdle to be able to adapt yourself to having somebody at all times be above you, to the left of you, right of you, and below you. Here, that's not the case unless you live in a building. For the most part, you can be alone whenever you want.
Yo, 100%. I'm just like, I be thinking about it like, yo, let's go up to the show. But I got what I want to do, and I just started only this month was I want to praise, and like we was talking about in the green room that people talk about they name things. I can't keep up. Supposedly this is June is Black History Month or Black Music History Month or whatever whatever I already want to call it. And I just wanted to honor Tina Turner since she recently passed. So I just want to read a quote of something that happened on this particular day. So on 1984, Tina Turner's Private Dancer album reached number 3 and stayed at the top 10 for 10 months. So shout out to I just want to shout out Tina Turner, man. Talk about the quality of music. She had great music, great voice, great dance. Her legs, boy, them legs, boy. You know what I'm saying? So
iconic
style, man. And we're missing. So we can always play her music though and watch the videos, man. Her dancing.
Yeah, we could blast Tina while she rests. We could blast Tina while she rests in paradise.
Yeah, 100%, man. I was just throwing that in there, but it is Friday. And I just want to talk about some albums that were released today. Some EPs. Sometimes I even do beat tapes, so instrumental albums. Because I like listening to those too. So let's just start off. You can jump in. You'll be my co-host for this segment, man. Number 1, Vic Spencer and Jamal Gasol. They put out The Right Way for Dummies, and you got to see the cover. It's funny. It's funny as hell, man.
Love Vic Spencer. Love Jamal Gasol, man. Those are spitters.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, man. I had Jamal Gasol on the show as well. Y'all go check that episode out. I'm gonna try to get Vic Spencer. I got Vic Spencer. Been a fan of his all day, man. But yeah, they spitters, man. And the album they trade in verse. They do. I'm like, yo, this is it, right? This is dope, man. Number 2, speaking of spitters, Kool Keith, man, he been around for some time. Kool Keith got Black Elvis. Number 2, Black Elvis 2. Now, Kool Keith.
Ultramagnetic MCs?
Huh?
Ultramagnetic MCs, Kool Keith?
Yeah, ultramagnetic. I'm messing it up. Ultramagnetic MCs, yeah, Kool Keith, yeah. He's still doing solo albums, man, and he's been doing it for what, 30 years plus, maybe more? Maybe more. I don't even know. I don't want to age him, but and putting out quality and great work, man. I listened to this one, but there's another one that he put out this year that I've been listening to more. So he's being consistent with work. It's not just like an album.
Kool Keith is an alien. Kool Keith is an alien.
Yeah, right?
Don't get it twisted. You see a human, but that brother's an alien. Different.
He is different, man. That's why I was like, yo, I gotta talk about Kool Keith. Whenever I have a chance, man, I'm throwing him out there. Throw his day out there. For sure. Number 3, man. Speaking of a Killer Mike, man, came out with Michael, a solo album, Killer Mike, man. It's a good album, man. He got a lot of features on it. But he overuses the N-word. Like, I'm trying to cut that down, but I know, and it's funny because like when he speaks, he's a great speaker. Like he's a very intelligent man.
Very eloquent, very articulate.
Very eloquent speaker. Because I just seen him on like the LeBron barbershop show. Like he was dope on that. And I'm like, wow, he's dropping jewels and everything. And then I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the album. Now the album's good, but I swear to goodness, man, like what how you can tell when somebody's just overusing a certain word, and you're like, what's going on right now? Like, it's just a lot. But go check it out for yourself, man. It's quality music, quality rap. But number 4 is What Up Vern, Lost Angel, and Sin City. Now, if y'all can't find these albums elsewhere on DSPs, go to Bandcamp, support the Bandcamp artists, man. What you think about What Up Vern? I think you know him, right?
That's man. That's the homie. What Up Vern, man. He recently had a situation with his family, so I want to send my thoughts. I want to send my strength to him so he can have some support. Feel like he has some support. I'm gonna hit him with something too, just so he can have some more support on that side. But Vern makes music, man. Vern does his thing. Vern got his own sound. And now that he's in Vegas, I'm sure that's going to incorporate a little bit into what he already does as far as his style and his cadence and what have you. But shout out Vern, man. He's a grinder too, man. He got these beautiful galleries, these pieces that he's putting out, these 3-song projects. I love what he's doing. I love his wave. I love his organic fan base growth, man. Shout out Vern.
Yeah, shout out to Vern. I didn't know anything about the trouble, but shout out to you and your family, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like the album's nice. I listened to it once. and you know, I gotta get back to it and stuff like that. But I just want to shout them out. Number 5 is Numbs and the Cleaver, man. Numb to it all. Numb to it all, man. Numbs produces the whole joint. He raps on the last joint, man. I heard this one probably like a couple hours before I came on before we did the show, and I gotta check that out too, man.
Hey, I'm going to the studio tonight, and when I always go to the studio, my mission in the car on the way to the studio is to rehearse some of my stuff that I'm gonna record, but also to listen to the homies' drops. Best believe tonight, Cleaver, my bro, Numb the homie. I'm tapping in. I'm tapping in.
Cleaver, man. You know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday! I think Cleaver.
Yeah. It was his birthday. Yesterday. Because he got the same birthday as my mother. My mother just turned 70. So happy birthday to my mother again. Happy birthday,
moms. Happy birthday, Cleve.
Cleve, man. And yeah, a couple of birthdays was like yesterday. I was like, man, everybody got my mom's birthday. What's up?
Blessed. Everybody blessed.
Everybody blessed, man. So
shout out Numbs on the boards, man. He got man to see a brother be able to spit bars and also be on the boards and put out the kind of production he puts out. Our whole scene, all of us, Know It All, Cleaver, Def Soldier. I mean, all the homies that you know that are homies of mine.
The Twitter fan.
We on the come up, man. All of us are doing amazing.
I love the Twitter family, man, and I love what they're doing. They're all hustlers and they all put out quality work. They all love hip hop, so that they're not even the ones that they might not be spitting like KRS-One, but they trying to so hard that it sounds good. It's like yo, they putting in some work.
We are putting in work.
Yeah, and speaking of that group, number 6, Furious Stylez puts out The Vote, part 1. It says 1. So he, Furious Stylez a producer that's in the game that's doing great quality work as well. And I don't know if you heard that yet, but it came out a couple days early. I think Wednesday instead of Friday.
Oh, it did? Yeah, I thought it was coming out today, Friday. If it already dropped, that's going on the boy. Furious is on my album, so you already know. I've been
I know. That's what I said.
I was chasing Furious for him. He knows in the DMs. I was chasing my man Furious for some Sonics.
Like, give me some beats.
I love it, man. He's another one, man. He got them fingers, man. He does what he does, and shout out to him and The Vault. I'm gonna definitely check that out tonight.
Yeah, check it out. You got I think it's 5 tracks or 4. I think it's 5. I think it's 5 tracks. You know what I'm saying, with different lyricists and stuff on there. And then speaking of the crew again, Jules Clay and Owlcast put out OWLS. I'm not sure what the acronym means yet, but I know it got something to do with Owlcast.
Wordplay Clay.
You know what I'm saying? But Wordplay Clay, man, and he's putting in work, man. Like Wordplay, I like Wordplay, man. Ever since I teamed up with him, he's been on the podcast a couple times.
Okay.
Just a great dude, man, and you can tell like he's he's into like the game of hip hop. He doesn't want to put a stain on it. You can see he's trying and he loves the sport of hip hop. So yeah, shout out to Juice Clay and Owlcast.
Owlcast, right?
Owlcast, yeah.
Yeah, they've been making I don't know if it's a duo, I don't know if it's one dude, but I've seen that name around a lot too with some of the heavies in hip hop. So I know he's making noise, or they making noise, whoever Owlcast is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, if it's 2 or 3 or 1 guy, it'd be a surprise to me. I gotta lie, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Owlcast. Number 8 is New Villain. He's the rapper, and then I say K as the producer, and it's called From the Villain with Love Part 2. Not sure if you heard of New Villain. He's from Canada.
Yeah, we have watched each other's stories, I believe. I think he's from Mass. I think he rolls with the homies from the Mini Mansion and all that, from the Wave with Divino and all them cats. I think he might be, and I think he's also made music with the homies, my brothers, True Cipher.
Oh,
so
word?
Cipher. So everything True Cipher's tapped into, I usually know about. So I do believe he's got work with True Cipher recently too.
That's what's up then. Shout out to New Villain, man. Number 9 is XP, the Marksman, Funk P, and Nug Light. They got a project called Have a Beautiful Grind, man. So
I'm going to check out XP, the Marksman. I think he's on the same bill where I'm going to see SD Knack and the homie Daniel's son July 1st in San Diego out here in California. I have tickets.
Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. So
and I've performed, I think, at Thop Fest, the festival out here in California, with XP Marksman on the bill. He's a dope rapper too.
Yeah, he's a dope rapper.
Entirely.
I've been tapping into him slowly, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much, to be honest, man, so much hip hop out there, and so much quality hip hop, not just in our circle, but just, you know, everywhere else. And I've been trying to, like, you know, get more ears. I'm about to go to Science Lab, get more ears, man. It's just, I only got 2, man, and it's a lot. It's a lot out there, man.
And it's funny because I was just at the barbershop today getting fresh. Yeah. And we was all talking in the barbershop about how Complex posted yesterday there has not been any rap song on the Billboard 100 this year for the first time ever.
Yeah, I heard that. Because I think somebody else was talking about that too.
So we was talking about it in the barbershop. Like, that's a real clear indication right there that mainstream, dead. Underground is where it's at. That's where the talent, the originality, the uniqueness, the new shit, the unheard of shit, that's where it is right now.
No, 100%, man. You got my vote on that too, man. 100%, man. All right, man, we're gonna get into this album.
Statistics.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Crazy. For the first time, I think in forever, there has not yet been any #1 rap song this year on Billboard.
And you would like, when I was hearing, I was like, not even that trap and goggling music that they got on the radio, but you know, it is what it is. I was surprised by it, but I was like, you know what? Not really, because like you said, underground's where it's at, and if people ain't, you know, here with us, I don't know what to tell them, man. But yo, let's talk about this album, man. We're gonna start breaking this down. Then we got some questions and some conversation actually throughout and at the end. So this is the THHC podcast, episode 142, man. We're about to break down Rap Philosophy, book 1, man. Talk about the title first, man, and let us know, you know, what made you want to do projects as such, you know, with
well, I've always I went to school for philosophy as my minor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've always had a knack for philosophy in general, ancient, modern, what have you. It's always just been my bag. I love to study it. I love to know about it. I consider myself a modern day Stoic. I follow the Stoic philosophies as well as other ideologies that I follow. But I always incorporated philosophy into my raps, into my songs, into my artwork, cover art, what have you. So it only made sense to me when I was ready to do an album again, since I took such a long hiatus from doing albums on purpose. I wanted it to be something that encompassed, in essence, who I am. So I wanted to have an album that expounded on philosophy, a lot of different philosophies that I follow, a lot of different philosophies that just happen to exist, that one can incorporate into their own life today in modern day times. But I also wanted to bring light to a lot of the different philosophers that influenced me as far as the names that I use for the song titles in the album.
And shout out to C. Dyer Art and Design for the
Craig Dyer. Shout out Craig Dyer. Ooh, he's another one. Okay. He's another one I was chasing in the DM. In the DM, people. I always see people that I feel I would make good work with, but that I also respect their artistry. So when I see them doing work for other people, whether it's beats making for other people or making cover art for other people, when I see something that I believe in, that I believe is actually on par with me, talent-wise, I seek them. I look for them. I DM them. I hit them up. Like, I want to be involved with them on something. And he's one of those.
Yeah, I did the same thing with I don't know mess up his name, but you know, Frank on Twitter. Like, he's one of the guys that's kind of in the circle. He's an artist as well. Frank Morgan, there you go. You know, my memory's tough. So, but you know what I'm saying, especially doing all these notes, right? I'll go great. Yeah, but anyway, you know what I'm saying? So like Frank Morgan did, you know, he did my first book cover. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I gave him the idea and he made it work, man. So, you know what I mean? Like, you got the family, you know, watching a movie of hip hop from the beginning to end. Cool Herc, and it goes down, it breaks, the film breaks, but you know, then it got some recent people and stuff like that. So yeah, I came up with the idea and Frank tackled it and got it back to me, man. So shout out to all the artists out there. All the artists out there. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's get into it, man. Echo, man, let's get into it. I'm gonna introduce the album. We're gonna break it down song by song, and I got some theories and some conversation for you later. You know what I'm saying? So Echo, Rap Philosophy, book 1. It means love of wisdom. I love the way, you know, these things got meaning. It came out April 20th, 2023, 24 minutes and 4 seconds. All right, let's get right. What does it say again? Whoa, 20. Oh, 420. You said
that's what you said.
Oh, it sounded like, did I say 24 seconds and 4 seconds?
No, the album date when it dropped, I dropped it purposefully on.
Oh, 420. Oh, it came out 420. It didn't come out. So it didn't come out April 20th. Oh, it is April 20th is 4th. Oh, what am I thinking? I'm you're ahead of me, man. I'm thinking April. I'm like, what's April? Is April third one? I'm thinking April 420, man. Oh, speaking of 420, I mean, do you smoke?
Absolutely.
What's your top 3 strands?
I only got top 2. I only do hybrid and sativa. I don't do indica at all.
So hybrid and sativa.
I find indica slumps me, and I'm a creative, so I feel the sativa and or the hybrid take me someplace as far as mentally. The indica slumps me in a seat, and I don't want to do shit.
That makes sense. Do you got a certain brand that you want to shout out? Anything that you
shout out to Grocery. That's my dispensary over here, Pico and like Fairfax. I've been going to them for years, man. They always get me right. The deals are crazy. John, shout out John at the Grocery. He's always hooking it up. He got the Sunday specials. They got delicious bud, man. All the stuff they got, the oils, the resins, the cartridges, the flower itself.
Yeah, shout them out, man. You got any particular strands that you go to, or you just like mess around?
I'm a OG. I'm a sour D guy. What do I got here? I got the Jealousy right here. This is that premium indoor flower.
All right.
You know what I mean? I'm an OG. I do mango pina.
I got a weed connoisseur here. Whenever I can ask a weed question, he comes out of his room. So that's the only time he come out of his room. He's like a big bear, like, you know what I'm saying, like he's hiding. What a shot. Nah, but let's get me about to get to this album though. But let's talk about it, man. So all right, so April 20th on 4/20, 2023. We're gonna talk about the first track, man. And the first track is called
Epictetus.
Epictetus, right?
Epictetus.
And this is produced by True Cipher.
My brothers.
You said you worked with them in the past, and
it's 2 guys. They're brothers.
They're 2 brothers. Okay,
Dominicano,
cool.
Like me.
Oh, Dominicano. Yeah,
baby. They from out there, back east. They from Mass and all that. That whole area that's bubbling.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm from Mass. I'm from Boston, so I don't know what part of Massachusetts, you know?
I think Lynn.
Oh, Lynn?
If not, they definitely working a heavy ton with the homie SD Knack, who's from Lynn. That whole area. I think New Villain is from Lynn. I think the homie West Taylor, 93 Infant West.
Yep.
He's from over there too, or he's over there now representing. Yep. So that whole area is like
Jamal Johnson, I think, is from Lynn. The producer, Jamal Johnson. I rock with them too. You know, so I rock with that too in Lynn. My mother's in Lynn.
True Cipher did track 1. I had to open the album with my brothers because they for years have been giving me heat. So they had to open it.
I was listening to some of your work earlier, man, and they've been dropping heat. So let's talk about this one. Number 1. So I say on this one, Echo's natural flow is in control over the True Cipher's drum pattern and stoic track. The artist has a way of words and a philosopher in the 21st century, man. So that's what I'm gonna call you. You're a philosopher in the 21st century, man.
Thank you.
Talk about this. Talk about the track number 1, man. What's going on with it?
Well, I think as far as albums are concerned, it's of high importance that you grab the listener instantly, especially if you're going to take them on a journey over 5 or 6 songs. When it's getting to the 8, 10, 13 song album, if you're not punching them in the face the moment the album turns on, you might have lost them for the rest of the album. So I try to set a tone as soon as the album started, the way that those guitars come in, the way that bass knocks, the minimalism behind the way I let it build and then start spitting as soon as I have to. Like, to me, it was a no-brainer to start. When I first heard the beat, it was a no-brainer to start the album with that. And I wanted to make sure that what I was saying was not overcrowding the beat, but saying things that were of worth substance. And I think a lot of the bars give you that.
No, 100%, man. You know, they do, man. And
I mean, the juxtaposition of my position is that I'm a street nigga into nuclear fission. I mean,
I love when it's organic and rappers they just freestyle their stuff on the pod. I'll be like, yeah, because like I'll be trying like I'm not a rapper, so like I be trying to like take little clips from the some of y'all stuff sometimes. I think I did it on one of these songs, and I sometimes I mess them up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oops, I'm like, my bad. But it's like but it's I'm a fan. You know what I'm saying? So
that's all that matters.
Yeah, man. So
but yeah, to me, opening the album with that kind of beat and me opening it with that kind of line, like I just spat.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're not in already, I don't know what else I could do to get you in.
No, you have to open it up with something. Like I said, we talked about earlier, with so much competition and great hip hop out there, especially in the underground. You better catch my attention. I'm going to the next. And I'm not like that. I'm not like that, but I know a lot of people are. You know what I mean? Like even if it's a new person, I kind of give them a chance, maybe 3-song chance. You know what I'm saying? But if it's somebody like you, I'm listening to the album. Like I already know your character, your awareness of the craft, and I know your ability. So let's go to number 2, Kyle Jung, man. This is produced by Furious Stylez. Speaking to him earlier,
yeah.
You said borrowing. I think about K Slay, RIP K Slay first one off the bat. Echoes unconscious mind of memories, desires, and repressed feelings are a one of one on this hard-hitting track from Furious Stylez, man. Wordplay is just stellar. Let's talk about Kyle Jung and Furious Stylez.
Like you just said, and I opened the song by saying I'm a one of one. Yeah. Jesus was a metaphor for the sun. Like what is this guy like? If I heard somebody saying that on a track to open the song, Jesus was a metaphor for the sun. Like, where are we going? What is he? What?
Like you like, yo, no, you gotta be like, let me rewind that and catch it first, and then okay, you be like, yeah, he said that.
Yeah, like Jesus and the sun rays is symbolic of his hair, and the way he ages are the seasons. Like it's all an allegory. The Bible,
like, he is the son of God and all that.
And
stuff.
The son of God, he walks on water because the sun's reflection goes on top of the water. Like, let's go. Like, if this is an album, let's go somewhere crazy. Like,
now is this an album? Because this is confusing right here. Because you got on DSP platform, it's 8 tracks. But then on Bandcamp, y'all go on Bandcamp support, there's an extra song. So how do you consider this project?
I consider it an album because it's got the song volume of, to me, what would be an album, but also because I wanted to drop it on Bandcamp for obviously for the support, but also to hit people with an extra track or a preview of what's to come with the homie J Fehrman. Somebody else I got a lot of work with coming up, who's super talented, who's been super supportive. Visuals, he does visuals. He does beats. He's crazy.
You're jumping the gun, man. You're jumping the gun, man. That's number 9. What's going on here?
I got excited.
I'm like, what's going on? I just wanted to ask the question about that, because a lot of people, in hip hop, they might drop, there's a dispute of, what's an EP, what's an album? Is it a song, number of songs? Is it the length? It's a lot.
It's funny you say that because as I wrote you in the DMs about the album itself, there was a 10-year break between my last album and this album. My last album before this album was 2013. I decided after 2013 not to drop any more albums because of what you just said. I got sick of that box of having to have a project be either an EP, an LP, a capsule, an album, a project, a single. After 2013 and my last album, I only dropped singles. I must have dropped like 25 singles.
You dropped a lot of singles. I was trying to listen to him more. I'm like, dude, I know you told me you got various singles, but this dude went bananas. Like,
yeah, from like 2014 to the pandemic, it was all singles. And when the pandemic hit and a lot of things changed for all of us, but for me, musically, as far as my ability to go to studios, to craft projects and what have you, I decided to start putting out what I started calling the Echo is the Name TV season series. And I did that since 2020 until 2023, where I said, you know what, I think it's time, 10 years later now, to drop an album.
Okay. No, I like that, man. I mean, that's a great story and stuff. I like the way you're thinking. And only reason, somebody like a podcast like myself always asks that question is because, like, it's the end of usually the end of the year, and people go, Marquis, what's your top whatever albums? And then I gotta be like, hold on, is this album or EP? I don't wanna, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all. And I usually, what I do is, if I can't get in touch with the artist, because I ask artists, yo, is this an EP?
As you should.
And then if they say, is this? I go, all right. You know what I'm saying? If he says 5 songs as an album, all right, So, and then I put it against the albums. And you can't be mad if your album don't make it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So, let's go to number 3, Cornel West. This is one of my favorite speakers ever, man. Cornel West. This is produced by Tekbeatz. Race matters, democracy matters, and pure poetry matters as well. Echo is Cornel West's anger and rap translator. Track hits like these punchlines, man. And I call you the translator because Cornel West is so like elegant when he talks, and so and then like so I don't know if you ever watched Key and Peele, and he Barack Obama translator, right? So yeah, man, and then Race Matters, Democracy Matters. Those are actual book titles for Cornel West. Talk about Cornel West, the song, and then and Tekbeatz.
Well, Tekbeatz is the homie. He did Echo is the Name TV season 3 way back when I started the series. Back at, I think our tape is probably back from like 2021, maybe 2022 early. But a Dominican, another super talented from the East Coast. A lot of these people I've never met in my entire life in physical form. We've only met through the blessing of technology, so to speak. But he, obviously another person that when I was crafting the album, I said, I'm going to go back to all the people that have given me a lot of the fire from my Echo is the Name TV season tapes. And I'm going to get 1 or 2 or 3 beats from each of them and pick one to put on the album. Tekbeatz happened to be one of them. As soon as he sent me what he sent me, it was a no-brainer. And just the chorus itself, as far as Cornel West, I'm a beast from the East. Give me food for thought. That's when I feast. I talk about money in the chorus. Get that bread, watch it rise like yeast. That's the juxtaposition of that song, is that Cornel West, if you know Cornel West, is totally against capitalism and oligarchies and corporations and corporatocracy and government. But I wanted to have that twist in the chorus since I'm mentioning Cornel West, but I say get that bread. When I know, to me and to people like Cornel West, money ain't shit. There's millions of rich people that are broke, if you know what that means. He's so much money, he's broke. Yeah. Like a lot that you don't have when you have money. And I've got a lot that I wouldn't trade to have money. But even though
they're broke inside, They don't have maybe family or heart or something. They're lacking something.
Right. So that's why I wanted to twist up the chorus and make it be Cornel West, but mention get that bread, so I could have people be like, oh, Cornel West ain't about money, but he's saying get that bread. Oh, okay, he's all right. Just to mess with people's brain. Yeah, but I love that record too. I play that in the car repeatedly.
I like this. I'm talking this project, man.
The new video is out for that. The first video off the album is Cornel West, and that's on YouTube. You can go check that out right after we speak.
Oh yeah, I actually seen it, but y'all go check out that video, man.
Yeah, y'all check it out.
You like walking through some hallway or something. I'm like, where's he at? I seen it. Yeah, it's dope video, man. Y'all go check it out. Number 4, Neitzsche.
Neitzsche.
Yep. This is produced by Cashmere P, man. And this is me quoting it. So you got bear with me, man. So on here you go, I take little snippets, man. You go, and it's the reason I take these snippets because it's meaning, full to me. So you say, not what other verses, but this one was stood out. It said, y'all think screaming is tough, but quiet is power. I was like, oh, okay, I gotta rewind that one. Echo's practice of mastery, Echo's practice of master morality shows and highlights through music and his thought process over this Echo sung fire track. And then I like the other line. I think in the first verse you said something about the Cipher line about love and hate. Just dope, man. Like a lot of these things, stand out and they relate to the person that you're listening to. I was like, yeah, this joint's fire. So talk about Neitzsche and Cashmere P, man.
Cashmere P is another person that I just know from online. He's actually super fucking funny. I find him to be super funny, more so than just the production that he's done for a lot of people. That's super fire. He just has a like a dark but funny sense of humor. I follow him just to see what he posts because he's hilarious. But he sent me, you know, a couple of joints, and I felt that beat screamed that kind of concept. I say in the song, when you stare in the abyss, you become the void. And that's a quote directly from Neitzsche when he talks about us all having this shadow self that a lot of us don't embrace, but we're unaware of. I've said it on other podcasts where I said a lot of people look at people like Nazis and say, how could somebody be a Nazi? How could a human do that to somebody else and do what they did to the Jews and what have you? And I say that's something that we all have in us, that ability, that capability, that human, that whatever is in that human or that ability in that human is also in us because we're all a human race. So as dark as that person is or can be to do the atrocities they do, we also have that monster in us. And that's why Neitzsche says when you are going up against a monster, be careful you too don't also become a monster. When you stay in the abyss, you become the abyss, you become the void.
That makes a lot of sense. I was following up, or I guess brushing up on my philosophers for this project and for this interview. And yeah, I was Neitzsche was one of the ones that I was probably listening to more on people talking about him or reading up on him. And I like the way he thought and stuff like that. So shout out to his philosophy, and shout out to you embracing it. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to number 5. It's Epicurus, right? And this is by Action Figure. So I say pain, pleasure. Do you actually suffer at death, man? Echo explores Epicurus philosophy via rap over this calming, healing, and mellow track. Asking questions is key, right? Asking questions is key. Research is key. Echo is a key collector, and with each song, he adds a home to his real estate empire, man. So let's talk about number 5, man.
That's a nice pen you got there. Damn.
I'm a poetic, I'm a writer, man.
I know you are, man. That was beautiful the way you put that.
Let's talk about number 5, man.
Yeah, that's the homie Action Figure. He actually I got to him through another person online that enjoys my music that me and him go back and forth on. I believe Action Figure is managed by Kalani, I believe I'm Carabello, a person that I follow that started following me and put me on and said, this is my artist. He's a beat maker. Let me send you some stuff. Action Figure was that person, sent me some stuff, and I was like, whoa. So I felt that slow tempo that beat gives you laid kind of a foundation for me to be able to rap about something like Epicurus's philosophy, which is Epicureanism. His belief is that the only sole action we have as human beings in our existence ever is to attain pleasure. It's from the Hellenistic philosophy period. So his whole thing is like debauchery, like fuck anybody, like do drugs, go crazy, live on the edge, you only die once type shit.
So he was the one, wasn't he? Because I was studying it, like researching to it. So then he have like so he didn't believe in pain then, right? I think he was the one that it was all pleasure, no pain. And I was like,
he wanted to
be insane, but like but I get it. These are philosophers that are figuring it out. These are
and this is an ancient philosophers.
Some of these are BCE, you know what I'm saying? These are like, of course before us, but you know what I mean, like way back, like so.
The world was different then, bigger, in a way we can't even imagine. So I wanted to do a song where it touched on that thing that a lot of people may think on their own and don't ever express to other people because it sounds too weird to even discuss. But I wonder many times what somebody is thinking or feeling those moments just before they take a last breath. If they have that, if it's not an instant death, if there's time to ponder, to think, to actualize that you're dying or about to die, that get in a weird way, it has more, that topic has more to do with life than death, because it gives me a meaning to life, a reason to want to live.
Taking that last breath. No, that's deep, man. And that's why, like, I think I'm drawn to this album because I'm a natural born thinker. I love thinking. My mom's, I made a video about her birthday yesterday, and the one thing that that she embarked on us was playing. We had game night, but it was like, it wasn't like spades or nothing like it was like Trivia Pursuit. It was Scrabble. It was like it was educational, knowledge games and stuff like that, and that's what made me like seek other things when I was on my own. That's why I read a lot of books. My bookshelves, I read up, and I think maybe that's why I'm starting to write books. And I'm like, I read so much books. I think I can write a book, and then I'm starting to. So, and I'm learning the process and getting there, man. And
I like many people believe that is unlike Epicurus, I, like many other people, believe our only real soul purpose here, while we're here alive, is to learn and grow. That's it.
Nah, 100%. 100%, man. 100%. Before we go to number 6, speak on you just had a tape release for this project, man. So speak on that tape release process. And this is probably the first time you did a physical, right?
It's the first time to be honest, in early 2000s, my first project ever as a teenager was a mixtape that I had local drug dealers that I worked for, press up thousands of CDs. And I still, actually, wait, hold on.
You know what's funny? I'm going to keep talking. So, and kiddies, I just want to let all the kiddies know, that's what we used to do when we was back in the day in the 80s, 90s. Drug dealers supported hip hop, and that's they were the executive producers. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so this was my first. No, actually, this isn't even it. This is my first album, but I had physicals of my second album.
Okay.
But I never had cassette tapes, and this last year I've been on 2 cassette tapes that the homies put out that I was featured on. But this is my actual first cassette tape physical drop ever, the limited run, and it sold out.
Yeah, and congratulations. That's why I wanted to bring it up to congratulate you on that sellout. So what do you got to do for that? Like I know it's a certain company, but is it a certain amount of?
It's funny because
put out, or how's that work?
It's funny because I've seen other people put physicals out too, and always wondered what that process is today. Because I've done it, like I said, I have CDs from back in the day, but I wonder what it was like to have it done that way. This particular record company approached me and told me that an investor in Switzerland loved my album when he heard it and wanted to press up physical copies as collectibles. So they did a limited run. Yeah, man. It was a blessing, a surprise DM that I was very happy to receive. And I felt in some ways, of course, like I'm a philosopher. So, of course, in some ways, I believe I manifested it by having seen it occur to others and wondering how I can get involved in that mix, because I love all these vinyls with splatter, the OBs, the cassette tapes, the CDs with the OB strip. I love the wave and the collectability aspect of it because I used to collect comics as a kid. So I love that. So it was an honor when I got that message and I was asked if I would participate. I said, of course. What kind of, it was involved in the process of the colors, the OB strip itself. Everybody got theirs pretty much after the pre-sale ended, and it was like I said, a blessing, an honor and a blessing. I forgot to bring it. I just got the box.
Don't worry about it, man.
In the house, I got to open the box and check them out.
Nah, don't worry about it, man. Now that's dope, man. I just wanted to congratulate you because you said it sold out, and I was like, that's congratulations, man, for real.
I mean, like I keep telling everybody, you are holding in your hand something that once I blow up soon will be worth. I won't even say the number.
Yeah, then it's gonna be worth. It's gonna be worth something. That's all. You have to like.
It's worth something now, but it's gonna be worth something.
Yeah, exactly. It's price. It's gonna be more priceless than it is now.
It's gonna be priceless.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go to number 6, man. You had the blessed with a woman philosopher. Is it Diotima. I got it right. I have it in my head, but I'm just like, I'm sorry. I think I got so much stuff to read. I gotta stop thinking about that. But Diotima, produced by Tenj. Is it Tenj?
Tenj.
Tenj.
10J tracks.
Tenj, okay, because I just saw Tenj and I was like Tenj, like I didn't.
If I'm not mistaken, we almost met physically. He's from the Midwest, and he was touring with a homie of his. And as he was approaching California to do a couple of dates, and we were going to finally meet in physical form, COVID hit. And the tour got canceled, and he never got to Cali. But he's always been a supporter, and I've done other singles and songs with him in the past. So he was somebody immediately when I was doing the album I knew I had to have.
So let's talk about number 6, man. I say track is light, gentle, and beautiful, like descriptions of love. Echo speaks on people catching the vapors. He talks about the love for women, and he talks about his growth via the earth and the gods, man. Let's talk about number 6, man. What's going on with this one, man?
Yeah, Diotima was, unbeknownst to me until I actually studied philosophy, was the tutor of Socrates.
Yeah.
Who Aristotle learned from, who Plato learned from. So in many ways, one could argue that Diotima was almost the one that planted the seed for the ancient / modern philosophy movement of knowledge back then, when they were talking about the allegory of the cave and the Socratic method and Socratic ignorance and Demetrius and a lot of different philosophers from pre-Socratic era. Diotima, maybe in some ways solely in a weird butterfly effect manner, solely responsible for kind of planting the seed for what we know today to be the ancient philosophy movement. A strong
that makes sense, because even back then they didn't give women the full credit of what they did and what they discovered or whatever.
Back then.
All right, man. Let's go to number 7, man. Mooji. Is it Mooji or is Mooji? Mooji. Yeah, this is produced by OGknownforsmoking, man. Where have you been, brother? This is another story. My boy OGknownforsmoking, but here I go. Over the tight piano riffs by OGknownforsmoking, Echo turns his pessimistic behavior to optimistic behavior, man. Is your cup half full? Like, you know what I'm saying? So talk about number 7, man, and OG, man, known for smoking.
Another homie, I had to get OG. Me and him have a tape season 8, if I'm not mistaken. Echo is the name TV.
I think it's 8, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the homie too, from the Twitter fam. So I had to get him on the joint. And yeah, I mean, the beat has that playfulness and that piano that is very minimalist and simple and not too overpowering. And in many ways, that embodies what Mooji, a modern day philosopher, is. That's who he is. Mooji, if you can follow him on Instagram, he's actually alive.
Yeah, he's alive. Yeah. This is to let people know. Yeah. Some people are dead on here, some people are alive. Yeah, it is. So we got 3, I think 3 living. No, 3. No, 4. Cornel West, Jung, right. Mooji, and not Kyle Young. Kyle Young.
No, he dead.
He's dead. Okay, so it's 2 living. Okay, here we go. All right. Talk about Mooji, man.
Yeah, I mean, his philosophy is very simple too. It's about enjoyment and being in the moment. And the song is that. It's like a playful, whimsical kind of philosophy. There's not too much deepness to it. There's breathing involved and things like that, but it's not very, one would say, heavy on the epistemology of his philosophy. It's a very simplistic, follow the trees, look at the sun, be kind, love people, love yourself kind of philosophy. And I got that tone from the beat.
Well, it's I won't say it's a general philosophy, but it's like it's the philosophy that everybody should cater to.
Yeah, it's not
one. Hug a tree. Go get your feet grounded. Your 10 toes on the grass in the dirt, man.
Yeah,
and read a book under a tree. Feel the energy from a tree.
Yeah, and, I mean, certain philosophies require a lot of heavy focus and discipline. Like Stoicism, it's not a very easy philosophy to follow. It is when you follow it, you don't even realize you're following it. But to adapt the life you have to the Stoic kind of life is a difficult one if you've been implanted, so to speak, by society. Mooji's philosophy is not that. Mooji is, like you said, you don't have to be a philosopher to follow his philosophy. It's very simple. It's very, like I said, touch a leaf, look at the sun, enjoy a glass of water. Be happy, that kind of philosophy.
Organic, yeah. Be happy, yeah. Don't worry, be happy type of thing.
Don't worry, be happy. Bobby McFerrin, shout out Bobby McFerrin.
Shout out Bobby McFerrin. Oh man, I was gotta bring us some old school, man. I'm telling my age though, man. But number 8, James Baldwin, man, produced by is it FLOH? FLOH. Okay, so that's FLOH. If y'all want to know.
Yes.
Track is up tempo and anthem like, man. Echo gets his Superfly on the mic, man. His wordplay continues to impress me. This is a fun record, man. Another great record, man. Talk about number 8, James Baldwin and FLOH, the producer.
FLOH's another homie, a very big supporter. He's actually the studio manager of Caliente Girls, a Dash radio station that has actually played a lot of my music to about 88,000 of their followers. And he's always just believed in me, my wave, my movement. He's allowed me access to his space, to his rehearsal spaces for videos or what have you. And he said, I want to give you some stuff for your album. I heard the beat. It smacks you in the face.
No, it does.
And I felt it was a great song to do as far as James Baldwin, who also, when he's giving you the business, is smacking you in the face with his words.
James Baldwin, the poetic king right there, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I've read a couple of his books, so I already know.
I just not even that. I mean, I also, as part of my minor when I was taking when I was at school, was debating.
Oh yeah,
James Baldwin debating. If you don't even got to read James Baldwin books, you can Google or YouTube his debates. He has like I don't know how many, but so many. Watch 2 or 3 of his debates. That's your James Baldwin education on James Baldwin right there.
Oh, see?
He went against TV hosts. He went against politicians. He went against black people. He went against Asian people. Anybody who tried to debate James Baldwin.
You just open up a wormhole. You know, I'm about to go up. Oh, man.
Yeah, watch James Baldwin about 3 to 4 of his debates. You'll be like, man.
Yeah, why? Wow. I didn't know. I didn't know that about him. Or maybe I'm just not remembering. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got to look it up.
He's a great author, great orator, great speech giver. But his debates, that's James Baldwin.
Oh.
That's the real James Baldwin you want to get in touch with.
Yeah, everybody's tapping to the debates, man. I'm gonna have to do that, man. So number 8. So if y'all know, I'm gonna say it again. This would end on all DSPs, so it's 1 to 8. But go support on Bandcamp. You got number 9. It's called My Philosphy. This is produced by J. Fehrman. Like I said, track is on Bandcamp. Go check it out. Now, the track is out of this world, and it has Echo spitting in alien-like flows. He thinks deeply and expresses himself in the booth. Shout out #KRS1, man. I think very deeply. And so does Echo, man. Let's talk about number 9, man. My Philosphy, man, because you know that's KRS joint, and it's got a little flavor in that.
Yeah, so I actually have right before the album, the last Echo is the Name TV season tape that I had dropped was Echo is the Name TV season 10 with the homie TBD Production, my brother.
Okay.
And then I dropped the album. After the album, at some point, will be Echo is the Name TV season 11 with the homie J. Fehrman, fully produced.
Oh, okay.
My Philosphy is a preview of that tape. It's off that tape. Shout out DJ Russ Bucket, who did all the scratching. I sent him the track. He sent the back with the ill scratches that have their own life to them, but still kind of sound like the My Philosphy KRS-One OG track from back in the 86 era.
Yeah, no, that's fire, man. Now, earlier you said you consider yourself a philosopher, right? Give me what I guess what makes a person a philosopher? Give me a little background on what makes a person a philosopher. Like, can I just go call myself a philosopher? Like, probably not, right?
You'd be able to call yourself a philosopher if you make it a way of life on a day-to-day almost basis of simply thinking critically in some manner, as far as being objective in the way you think and not letting emotions and your life experiences and the situations you've been through manipulate your ability to perceive things the way they really are. Being able to think about yourself, who you are, why you are, where you came from, the world, your place in the world, how your place fits in the world. These kind of things are just general ponderings that you have on a day-to-day basis at some point throughout the week. You too would be able to, I guess, deem yourself to be a modern day philosopher.
Now that's fine. I like that explanation. Now, like I told you, I try to do, some albums take me different places. I mean, your album took me to doing various research, man. So I had to, like I said, I had to break out another notebook, man. And I'm just gonna talk about, each philosopher, and then you can have a short conversation, nothing too crazy, or I can just read them all off. But it made me, it took me to school. This album took me to school, basically, and that's a good thing, right? It made me want to learn.
That is its core essence of number one. What my whole 100th monkey Echo is the name wave is about, is spreading and sharing whatever knowledge for whatever reason I've been able to be imbued or endowed with or discovered. I just want to share it. But yeah, it's about people asking me, what's the name of that philosopher, that song that I love so much? What was he about?
Yep.
When did he exist? Yep. Why did he think how he thought? It's about being able to have people ask questions. Because like I think Einstein said, I don't want you to think like me. I just want you to think.
Yeah. So let's talk about number one, Epictetus. Am I saying that right? Epictetus?
Epictetus.
Epictetus. Yeah. Now, he was a Greek Stoic philosopher from 50 to 135 AD, born a slave, gained his freedom, and studied under philosopher, I'm going to mess up these names, Musonius Rufus in Rome. So Epictetus' teachings were recorded by student Arian discourses. Epictetus emphasized the importance of living in accordance with nature, accepting what is outside of our control, and cultivating virtue through reason and self-discipline, man. So like I said, you make me want to learn. So I had to get put a little bit of more respect on these guys and gals' names, you know what I'm saying? So
that's the point.
You want to talk anything more about that? Because
yeah, I mean, you said it all as far as who he was. He was that, and that's the beauty. Like I say, I consider myself a Stoic philosopher. The two most known philosophers of Stoic philosophy are Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus. The contrast is that Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome and ruled basically Earth for a long period of time. Epictetus was a slave. They both practiced Stoic philosophy. So the Stoic philosophy can be practiced by basically anybody on any level of society, anywhere. That's its beauty. And the beauty also is that Epictetus followed the doctrine of you only control one thing. This world is divided into two things. One you control, one you don't. The one you control is you. The thing you don't control is everything else. Don't worry about anything else. Worry about you. Like Jordan Peterson says, the modern day guy now that you can YouTube as well. He says it as simply as, don't worry about everything else. Clean up your room.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, man.
Stop trying to clean up everything else in the world and the way the world is and the way your neighbor is and the way your coworker is. Clean up your room.
Worry about yourself, basically. Worry about yourself, brother.
Fix yourself.
Get yourself, brother.
Get yourself to a level of godliness or whatever you perceive to be the highest form of you. And then worry about something else. Until then, just focus on this. And that was Epictetus's basic core philosophy was you only control you, not what happens to you. Worry about you.
And this is why I did this, man. I'm like, I want to show these philosophers some love, and then I want to see where you want to take it. Now, number two, Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst from 1875 to 1961. Jung's work emphasized the importance of the unconscious mind and the collective unconscious, which he believed contained universal archetypes and symbols that are common to all humans. Talk about Carl Jung a little bit.
Carl Jung at one point was actually studying with Freud. They were at the same time. Everybody knows.
Yeah. I saw that too. They was friends. They were kind of they didn't agree, but they kind of hung out.
And at one point, Freud had Jung ostracized, but Carl Jung's basic tenet, like I say in the chorus of the song, is synchronicity. And that means that everybody knows the world, in essence, works off cause and effect. I do this, this happens. That's the way the world works. I push a tree, it falls over. I jump off a building, I drop. I push you, you move. That's the world. Carl Jung said there's a principle called synchronicity where there's a causality. Sometimes what we call coincidences are things that are happening that are not connected, but are connected.
Yeah.
He talks about learning about synchronicity because he was a psychologist, a psychoanalyst. He had a patient who said he dreamed about a scarab beetle because he was a psychologist, a psychoanalyst. And the next day on that guy's desk when he woke up in the morning was a scarab beetle. And scarab beetles don't exist where that guy lived. So he could take that as it's just a coincidence, oh well. Or like Jung said, there's a universal consciousness that's speaking to you. And the way it speaks to you is through what you call coincidence, deja vu, a happenstance, no big deal. That those little things matter more than you think. Those things are connected more deeply than you may think initially.
See, I'm loving it, man. This is why I took it here.
It's almost like make sure you're aware of everything around you because everything matters.
This is why I took it here, man. I knew we can. It's gonna spark some conversation, man. Lord, the names on these people. CTRAFF.
Oh, that's the homie C Traffic out in Orlando.
Okay,
that's
okay, all right.
No life. No life representative. Polo.
C Traffic, man. You know all the initials. I'm like, what is it gonna say? He said Echo's taking us to school, man.
Florida.
And that's what's up, man. Let's go to number 3. Cornel West is an American philosopher, academic, and political activist, man. West is known for his work in areas of race, politics, and social justice. He's an author of such books as Race Matters and Democracy Matters, man. How did you, get acquainted with Cornel West, man? Talk about him.
Well, guess what Cornel West did the day after I dropped the music video called Cornel West?
What's that?
Announced that he's running for president.
Oh,
Cornel West is running for president under the People's Party, bro.
I heard that. No, I did hear that. I did hear that he's running for president.
He announced it the day after I dropped the music video. I was like, see, that is synchronicity. That is Carl Jung at work, right? There. That's a coincidence that is not connected, but is connected. That's synchronicity.
Yo, that's
an example of synchronicity right there as you and I are speaking severely yours. Like, that's crazy.
Yo, man. And shout out to Cornel West. He will be in a friggin' marvelous, incredible, fascinating president.
He's for the people.
But I ain't even gonna get into it. We don't want. I try to stay away from politics on the show because we'll be choking each other or something.
Hey.
Number 4, Neitzsche, man. Friedrich Nietzsche, man, was a German philosopher, culture critic, and poet from 1844 to 1900s. Known for his critiques of traditional morality, religion, and philosophy, as well as for his ideas on the nature of power, the will to power, and the concept of the Übermensch, which is aka Superman. Talk about Neitzsche, man. Nietzsche's really interesting, man.
I mean, Neitzsche, I love that aspect of what he talks about, going back to, like I said, to there being an ability. I mean, that concept stretches time as far as, like I said earlier, there being a person right now that's doing conferences and writing books and is speaking named Jordan Peterson, who talks about our ability or our need to embrace our shadow selves, our dark selves, to acknowledge that we're capable of darkness, of horror, of atrocity, but letting that energy be something we use as something that propels us forward positively. That was Neitzsche when he talked about us staring into the abyss, us becoming depressed to the point that the depression envelops us and we become mentally ill because of the depression we're allowing ourselves and our psychology to be immersed in. We have more power than that, he says. If you stare in the abyss, you become the void. That's why I say that in the song, because that's something that we've all grappled with at some point. I have been depressed all my life for the most part, but I've been able to battle through it, see different ways, adopting different philosophical ideologies and belief systems that allow me to be stronger than what I believe to be. Like, that's why I practice the 5% culture. That's why I'm with the gods and I study with the gods and the earth, and I have an enlightenment, and I'm learning my mathematics, and I'm doing everything so I can know and understand, because I've already understood since an early time how powerful I am. Because, like another philosopher, James McAvoy, says, we're not human beings with souls. We're souls having human experiences. I'm not just this. I'm what powers this.
No, 100%. I believe humans are super. We're superior. We just don't know ourselves. We're just distracted. Let's put it that way. We're distracted by, now it's the phones, but it's TV, or if it was politics, if it was whatever they distract us with, food, tainting the food. It's a lot of things that depresses and our mental to not to be our original selves, our super cells.
That's why I do what I do, so I can hopefully spark interest in things that go beyond the mundane, the day-to-day, the pop culture. I want people to ask questions about philosophy and philosophers, or how can I change the way I think, or why does it seem so easy for you to change the way you see things, and why is it so hard for me to change the way I see things? And me saying, it's not. No. I'm you, you're me. What I can do, you can do.
100%. 100%, man. Let's go to number 5. Epicurus, man. Is it Epicurus?
Epicurus.
Epicurus was a Greek philosopher from 341 to 270 BCE, man. Founded the school of philosophy known as Epicureanism, which emphasized the purest of pleasure and avoidance of pain as the primary goals of human life. We talked about this earlier. This is one of the ones that you made me discover, and I was like, man, I was really intrigued with his philosophy, man. I'm like, this dude only believes in pleasure. This is the dude I'm trying to hang out with. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But talk about him a little bit more, man. We gotta kind of talk about. We could talk about.
I mean, one could say that all humans have in common is their want to seek pleasure and their want to avoid pain. So everything can be broken down in a black and white way, life anyway, as pain or pleasure. Do you seek pleasure? Do you run away from pain? And to have a person that had an entire society believing that the only thing we're here for is pleasure and there is no pain. So don't fear death. Don't fear God. He didn't believe in any gods at the time when a lot of people were believing in different gods and in the sky or what have you, and different like Zeus or this and that and Poseidon and whatever. They were very much about Caligula kind of shit, like hedonism. One would call hedonism now in Jamaica, and all those like sex parties and orgies and living life to the fullest and all that. So it's kind of a live fast, die young ideology or philosophy. And I wanted to make a song where it kind of said, okay, live fast and die young. What is life like to you? What does it really mean to you? Your last 6 breaths.
That and this is why I'm saying, this is why I got deeper into it. I'm like, a lot of people might listen to this album like, yo, he's got bars, he's throwing bars. I'm like, no, it's deeper than that. You gotta listen to what this dude's saying, man. Like, and then you gotta like wonder why he picked these people in general. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, man, I'm getting deeper, man. I was like, no, I'm getting deeper, man. So Diotima, man, was a wise woman of prophetess, and who taught Socrates about the nature of love. She relayed love as a desire for the eternal, the immortal, and the beautiful. Love leads people to desire the body, soul, knowledge, and wisdom, man. And shout out to Omega 7 in the chat. Peace, philosophy,
peace,
Lord.
God. That's another brother. Shout out Omega, man. All my people stepping in.
Talk about the queen, man. I mean, like you said earlier, we think she probably had a lot to do. She might have been the wisest in the group, the smartest in the group. Maybe she was the one that came up with a lot of the ideas and philosophy of these gentlemen.
Well, that's why I end the first verse by saying that we didn't give women the chance to have a voice, and we say that's why they walk around with a white shroud. That's why I say that in the ending of the first verse, because it's a take on The Handmaid's Tale, that show that was on the streaming services about a society where women were being executed and subjugated and oppressed. And in many ways, this patriarchal society has been doing that for eons. Before philosophy, I think, was even around, men were putting women in positions of weakness and not letting them speak. So I say in the song that the world will look different if they had a voice, a pedestal, a speaker. Because I can't imagine what a matriarchal / patriarchal kind of world would look like. It wouldn't look like this.
Well, organically, that leads me to one of my questions that I had at the end. I had a couple questions, but what if women did rule the world? You know, from, I guess, I don't know if you want to like say from the beginning or you want to just say now, but it's like, what do you think?
That's where I get into a lot of debates with feminists in many ways, because they would have you believe that I'm saying I don't believe that the world should also be run by all women either. It shouldn't be run by all men, and it shouldn't be run by all women. It should be ran.
No, good point. That's a good point from the start.
And again, because the argument could be, a feminist could say, "Oh, but you guys have had the steering wheel for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and you've kind of fucked shit up. Let us take the steering wheel for a few thousand and let's see what it looks like then." Well, it doesn't work by having one side do it for that long only. We've seen it. Look where we are. The proof is in the pudding. So the answer to fix what's been going on all these years in oppression for women is not let women now run amok and run the world by themselves too. We have to see the masculine energy in women and the feminine energy in men, and embrace the duality within ourselves. And that's when the world will start to look not like the way it looks now, but better, I believe.
100%, man. I think your points are clear and consistent, man, and valuable. And it makes sense. I know a lot of people talk like you had the ball for 10 minutes. I want the ball for 10 minutes. I get it. But like you said, if it was a group thing, moving forward, if it was a conclusive thing, like everyone is worked as a team, team oriented. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that's where it should be. That's where that's plain and not to be selfish, and say, yo, I want it now. Like, I want the ball.
Yeah,
I get why they're saying it. I get why they're saying it.
I get it. Like you said, that analogy of holding the ball for too long, but it doesn't work one way by one side doing it all the time, and it's not going to work by one side also doing it their way all the time. It's got to be a cohesion.
Yeah, 100%. 7 is Mooji, Anthony Paul Jung, is a spiritual teacher and author who teaches a form of self-inquiry and meditation. Also a street artist and musician. He encourages students to question their thoughts and beliefs and to let go of their egoic self in order to experience a deeper sense of peace and liberation. Now, this guy's still alive, man. He's a teacher, man, a musician. Probably does it all, man. Talk about him a little bit more. He should get some praise since he's living. We could go find him and talk to him.
Well, he's just another aspect of in a different branch of philosophy, as far as being able to use your physical self, not just your psychological self, to adapt to your world, but like he talks, using breathing techniques, different meditation techniques to center yourself, to prepare yourself for the day, to be able to go out into the world and experience it in a positive manner where you're not feeling in any way victimized by things or that the world is out to get you or what have you. It's not. If you believe that you're a part of everything, like Mooji believes that there's just oneness, the same thing that makes a leaf makes a squirrel. The same thing that makes a squirrel makes me. The same thing that makes me makes an owl. The same thing that makes an owl makes a whale. It's all connected.
Yeah, it's all matter. It's all matter.
It's all matter from the center of a star somewhere 3.8 billion years ago. Like, we're all from that dot, that explosion. We all are here from that one thing. And so we're all connected fundamentally, on a fundamental level, not physically. I'm not attached to Severely Yours.
Yeah.
But me and Severely Yours, me and you, we're the same thing.
The same characteristics, you know, same form, same being in a sense, yeah.
And if you use that to connect yourself to nature and breathing and respiratory and knowing you have a respiratory system and it is a system and it works in a certain way like any system.
Yep.
You learn and grow.
Yep. And that's what we need to get back to. A lot of people take breathing for granted. Let's put it that way. Let's talk about the last one. I got some questions, man. James Baldwin was a writer and social critic who lived from 1924 to 1987. His works explored race, sexuality, and class in America. Known for his honesty and exploration of complexities of human experience, man. Famous for Go Tell It on the Mountain and Fire Next Time. A prominent voice in the civil rights movement and critic of racism and inequality. Talk about James Baldwin, man. Not just a poet, just like he's more than that, man.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I mean, the man is a brilliant debater, and I can imagine at the time when he was coming up and expressing the sort of things he was expressing as far as America is concerned and his perspective and his reality on being a black man in America and feeling the way he felt and people questioning why he felt the way he felt. I mean, at one point, he moved to Paris. I think he lived the rest of his life out or maybe came back in his old age, but he left America. It got to that point. Maybe people think that he just did everything he did and died in America, but he left America to Paris and wrote for a while from Paris, books and poems and essays on America. And he would fly back to America and shit on America at a conference or at a school and then fly back to Paris. Like, it was a hard thing for him to express what he was expressing. So he knew he'd have to be sharp as a knife to debate all the droves of politicians and liberals and Republicans and people on the street and Huckleberry Finn white guy.
Yeah. For the expand his horizon to get more knowledge of the world to be able to go back and forth with these other people with power.
There was no social media, there was no Google back then. So everything he did was chiseled from books and experience and writing his own stuff. And it was like I said, his writing is one thing, amazing, but his debating ability, it's like watching a person possessed. It's dope.
I gotta get into it. I gotta get into the debates, man. Shout out to Ben Frank in the chat, man. What's good, brother? Fan of the show. What's good, man? So my first question, I had more questions. I mean, I have first questions, but my first actual question for it's the end of the show. Do you believe philosophy? Because everything started. I don't know if you believe everything started in Africa. Why does no one talk about philosophy or philosophers in Africa if that's where we all are from? Where's that history? Is that buried? What's going on?
It is buried. It's buried in a lot of the mistranslation and in a lot of the theft that occurred, not just during the transatlantic trade, but even before that, going back as far as before Christ, there were things going on the earth where a lot of the ancient knowledge was being oppressed and it was just deemed esoteric. Or every time something came from either the tribes of Kemet or all the scientists that existed in East Africa and all the people that existed where Senegal is today, like all that soil has all that truth in it. I mean, you mentioned earlier book 1 and that meaning possibly that there's a book 2.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it, man, and I'm looking forward to breaking down more of these philosophers and getting this information out there to the masses, man. This is really interesting stuff, man.
That's why I put out that song with the homie Kill from Twitter called Kemet, because I wanted people to say Kemet if they didn't know what's Kemet, and that would spark a deep dive into the Kemetic tribe and the way we were scientists and kings. And we actually were something bigger than anybody could think we were before slavery. Black people were not just slaves. That's not where our history began. Like, that narrative got to go.
Gotta go, man. Gotta go. They're still trying to. I heard they was messing with the pyramids, the writings on the wall. They was trying to like paint over them and do disguise them and like, you know what I'm saying? Or, yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know if a lot of it's true, but you know,
like a lot of the rappers
things.
are talking about today, how they have all these shows on History Channel about ancient aliens, and in essence trying to say there was no way Black people who were the ones existing back then could have put these together with their hands.
Come on, man.
It had to be an alien.
Smartest people on the planet, man. It had to be an alien. Okay, get out of here, man. We coming down to the end of the show. I got your albums and your previous work scrolling on the underground underneath.
Thank you.
Us and stuff like that, so people can get some more shine and look for your work, man. What's next for Echo, man? So you said book one, so book two might be coming soon. Is that coming soon, or is that are you working on something else? Oh,
no.
Maybe not. I'm a bad.
I'm messing with you. No, no. I mean the grind continues, brother. You know, I mean, I got, like I said, right before the album dropped, I dropped Echo Is the Name TV season 10. I already have Echo Is the Name TV season 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and just got slotted for 17 yesterday with a producer out of Germany. So I already have probably the 2023 is already wrapped up as far as what I'm recording for. 2024 is looking already fully slated. Book 2 is on the way. I got 3 or 4 features with a lot of your favorite and my favorite rappers and producers on Twitter.
Woo!
It's bubbling. If it hasn't been bubbling, it's bubbling now. And also shout out my low life family, Thurston Howell, C Traffic, as you saw earlier. About a week ago, I went out to Orlando to do a show with the Low Life family, the Polo Low Life family out in Orlando. I am now down with the Low Life family and rocking with them and supporting what they do. They in turn do the same for me, and we're all rolling as a unit, just trying to get people's eyes open to what we're doing.
That's fire, man. You know, like you know, you can't do it all alone, man. You gotta be genuine first. You gotta be a good person, and you gotta connect.
Organic. You gotta go outside.
You gotta be organic. Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go outside, man. You gotta
go outside. Hey, shout out Know It All and Scaring the Hoes shows and the homie Black Chidori and Patty Honcho and the homie Happy. All of them. I love them.
All of them, man. They all been on. Listen, they all been on the show. I got them early. It's funny because a lot of people like. I be looking at you know, people like, you know, being fans of them. I was like, man, I had them early. I got some instinct. I be like, yo, I had them. They are on the show. They been on the show, motherfucker. What's up? I had them on my show. You know what I'm saying?
Love it, man.
Yeah, for real, man. I ain't playing, man. But yo, yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat first, man. You said his name is Central Traffic. That's his, okay.
Traffic,
Central Traffic.
Yeah.
Who else was in there? Or Omega 7 was on there. And then I think Ben Frank, man. Shout out to everybody that's watching this now, watching it later. You know, whenever you're watching it, like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, all that, man. So yeah, it's the end of the show, man. I want to know, you know, promote some more if you need to, and you know,
like and subscribe,
and give us some kind words, man. Give us something the audience give something to the audience, your fans, to take home with them, man. The philosophy.
How about my daughter?
Hey, hi. How you doing?
That's my daughter, Ocean.
How you doing? I got a daughter. She's 24 and she's mean. Nah, let me stop. Love your daddy. Oh my God. But yeah. Hi.
Sorry. Hold on.
Your father's really smart. I don't know if you heard that. You heard that?
I love that one.
There you go.
Sorry.
Gotta give you some props so you know what's up. Know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
But yeah, that's dope, man. You know, family's huge. Family support, man. I'm just playing
all for her. All the music I sell, the band camp, the music I put out is to leave a legacy.
You're building family wealth, and you're showing her, not by you know, literally, physically, you know, mentally. You're doing it, and she sees it, and she's probably appreciating it. She's probably watching. She's probably like playing with whatever first, but she's watching you. She's watching you, and like, I'm gonna tell you, like, if that's your only kid, I'm not sure, but my daughter was when she was that age, I didn't think she listened to me. Teenager, I didn't think she listened to me, but when she became an adult, she was like doing stuff. I'm like, yo, where you learn that from? She's like, you. Remember you used to tell me this? Remember you did? I'm like, you was listening to me.
It all matters.
Yeah.
It all matters.
But say some, give me some philosophy. Say some positive at the end of the show. I was trying to ask the guests to say something positive end of the show.
Like I was saying before, man. Like I was saying before, I consider myself a Stoic philosopher in many ways. And like I said, the simplicity of that philosophy, if it's one you could follow, is simply know you only control one thing, and that's the stuff between your ears, your brain. That's all you control. You don't control what happens to you. You don't control what tomorrow. I live my life. You live your life. We all live our lives. I have plans for next Saturday.
Yeah.
How the hell do I know I'm going to live until next Saturday? I could die tonight. God forbid.
Yeah.
I could.
Yeah. I mean,
so in essence, I say that to say we need to be aware of our mortality. We are finite. We all do pass at some point. Don't let that be a depressing thing. Let that be a motivational thing. An enjoy every moment, savor every possible thing you do kind of philosophy. You only control you. If you're sad, depressed, obviously go through what you go through. You have to as a human, but snap back. Snap back. Know you're bigger. Know you're stronger. Know your worth. And don't let nothing sink you. Like, just focus on you. Clean your room.
I love it, man. Love the words, man. Love the philosophy, man. I really believe you are a philosopher, man. You know what I'm saying? You're the 21 of the 21st century philosophers, man, that, you know, I'm going to follow, man. I'm going to be respecting and bowing down to, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I appreciate you being on the show. I appreciate your kind words. I appreciate, you know, your
and everybody can hit up any social media of mine for the shirts. You see the Echo logo. You see the brand.
Support, promote, man. Promote. I tell people, promote. If you look down there, like it says, promote. It's telling you, yo,
support your local indie artist and support your local podcaster.
Oh yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And what I usually say at in every show, man, is practice more love than hate, man. And you know, if you wake up tomorrow, man, you know, like you know, live for that day. You know, you woke up for a reason. Try to make. If you're not making yourself happy, try to make somebody happy. But the goal is to make yourself happy before you make any others happy, man. But yeah, practice more love than hate, man. And thanks for everybody coming through. Oh, I got a last I'm gonna have central traffic. Clean your house, your basement, your mind. True words. Thanks for inviting Echo to the show. True wisdom was spit tonight, man. You get the last words, central traffic. Now I learned your name, so when you come back on, I know what the hell your acronyms are. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Echo, man, for real, man. It's a blessing, man, for you to
thank you for all your support over the years. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tapping in with me, brother. Always, I will support you in kind as you support me.
You are a part of the show, man. When I call people a co-host in the beginning, I'm really trying to drag you into, you know, so you can come back on and, you know, come. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm here for you.
You're part of the show, brother. You're part of the show, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. Echo is the name. Echo, man. Support his gear. Support him as an artist, man. Just a dope wordsmith, man. Dope philosopher, man. We get out of here, man. All right, y'all. Peace out, man. One love.
One love.
Peace out, man. I love it, man. I love it. We all? Yeah, I think we are. Oh, no, we still on.
Hey.
I thought I ended it. Oh, this thing.